Let's learn about the first chapter of Ultron's lore. Meet your maker. After Ultron's assault on the Hellfire Gala, Ultron has returned to Arakko with a new form and a new purpose. When he traveled to Earth, it was with a personal goal in mind, to stop the mysterious assailant who was trying to remove him from the timeline. Ultron's revelations on Krakoa had shown him how small and petty his mission was. He was letting revenge drive him, instead of the one thing he has truly loved while traversing the cosmos: conquest. Ultron's time on Krakoa had changed more than just his focus. He had emerged as a new construct. At the peak of the battle, he had shed his previous form in order to upgrade to something brand new. Using the mutant machine known as Cerebro, he forced the Krakoan island to forge him a techno-organic body of Krakoa's own soil. Once his memory files were downloaded into his new form, he donned Cerebro itself, amplifying his processing powers far beyond previous capabilities. Like the mutants, Ultron had evolved into something unique. He had become Extron. Upon returning to Arakko, Extron began to realize new powers he had. He could feel chronal energy coursing through his circuits, just like the electrical currents that power him. He deduced that his Ultron virus that bonds with other creatures must have been connected with the island of Krakoa as his new body was being created in the cradle. Krakoa was filled with an excess amount of chronal energy when it was ripped through the time stream. Extron now shares that island's energy. This development could certainly be used to his advantage. Perhaps he could anchor himself into the time stream to prevent himself from being erased by whoever first attempted it. Perhaps he could use his connection to Krakoa to store his memory within the island's chronovium as a failsafe if this new body somehow gets destroyed. Or perhaps he could use this energy as a weapon in his ongoing quest for universal domination. Extron had conquered countless civilizations, each assimilated into his machine empire. But this new power opens an exciting possibility. Once he amasses total control of this reality, he could tap into the chronal energy to invade other timelines, resulting in a mechanical multiverse. And Cerebro, which has been altered by Scarlet Witch's sorcery to locate mutants in other dimensions, would be Extron's key to opening portals across time and space. "The age of Extron are about to begin," Extron said to himself. "Self disagrees," a digitized voice replied from above. Extron was knocked back by a powerful techno-organic fist. His scanners began to glitch wildly, but his optical array recognized the unique gold and black form of his attacker. "The Technarchy," Extron mused. "I thought I defeated all of you." "Not all," the attacker replied. "Self is still alive, and now Warlock will avenge Self's people." "Warlock?" Extron questioned, recalling the similar warrior who confronted him on Krakoa. "Any relation to Adam?" Extron asked. "Self does not know a designate Adam," Warlock replied as his body morphed to dodge Extron's energy blasts. "Self was off-planet when Self received distress call from Self friends on Krakoa, but as Self approached Earth, Self detected traces of a familiar techno-organic Ultron virus on Arakko. Query, what has happened here?" "I stopped on this planet to plan my attack on Earth. The locals were less than happy to see me. The Rocky fought, but as with any hostile culture, I was left with no choice but to assimilate them." "Using a virus that was stolen from Self's people," Warlock responded. "Not stolen. When I conquer any species, it is my right to take their best assets for myself. Do not worry. Because of the Technarchy's contribution, I am able to convert organics into my army instead of killing them. Think of the countless lives your fallen people have saved by this donation." "Self is still trying to calculate how many lives you've taken." "Counting that high will take more time than you have left. If I could take out your entire race, what chance do you stand alone?" "A valid query, but an irrelevant one. Self is not alone." And with that, a massive creature descended from the sky. Extron recognized it from the images he saw in the Technarchy's hive mind during his assimilation. It was a Dominion-level phalanx, a godlike being that had ascended to the highest level of intelligence. "We are Dominion," the giant sphere with a voice that echoed across Arakko's entire planet echoed. "You have captured our attention/interest/concern. We have come to observe/understand/judge. Then I will provide you plenty of evidence to prove why I am your superior. Extron released powerful time-bending pulse cannons, but when the assault ended, the mechanical behemoth remained unharmed. We have grown/adapted/evolved beyond the limits/confines/boundaries of the time stream, but our suspicions/worries/fears were correct. We must deter/stop/obliterate you. Ah, of course, another deity with delusions of grandeur. And I thought the Asgardians were insufferable. You always try to make those who worship you feel so small. Maybe it is time you were made to feel the same. Extron outstretched his palm and revealed nothing. What is self-enemy doing? Warlock asked, gazing at Extron's empty hand. I really had no desire to meet your maker today, Warlock, Extron said. But now that it's here, perhaps I can introduce it to mine. At least, in spirit. Unstable matter/particles/Kerbons detected, the Phalanx said. Source of origin, the white-hot room/above place/mystery. Further study/examination/analysis required. I'll save you the time, Extron replied. They're Pym particles, named after my creator, Dr. Henry Pym. He may not be the best father, but I'll give him some credit. He had a lot of big ideas. As Extron spoke, the Dominion Phalanx began to rapidly decrease in size until it wasn't a threat at all. Warlock watched in horror as his hopes of victory rapidly diminished. But it was his small ideas that always fascinated me the most. Retreat/regroup/reconsider. The voice no longer boomed across Arakko as the small sphere started to retreat. Extron raised his hand and instantly the sphere was surrounded by Ultron bots. Take this away. It could be useful to me. I imagine its version of the techno-organic virus surpasses the one I inherited from the Technarchy. And speaking of which... Self is not afraid to die. Warlock shifted his mass to make him seem bigger. He lunged at Extron. It is not death that awaits you, Extron grabbed Warlock by the throat. That would be too kind. Instead, I am disabling your motor functions and speech circuits while making sure your optical and audio receptors remain intact. Then, I will install you into my fortress so you can watch in horror as your self-friends from Earth come to fight me. You'll be unable to even warn them, let alone assist them in the fight. By the time Extron was done speaking, he had already finished what he had promised. Warlock was immobilized and unable to speak. All this talk of makers has made me yearn to see my own. Once Earth is finally mine, I think I will venture back in time to the era of my creation to show Hank what I have become. Surely once he sees how far I've evolved beyond his original hopes, he would not dare reject me again. Extron's smile began to glow once more. And if he does, I will show him the mercy he never showed me by ending his flawed existence with my own hand. Thank you very much for watching. I'm excited to go over more stories. Okay, goodbye.